Season 3, Episode 19 of The X-Files lives rent-free in my head. It's called Hell Money and has a largely Chinese cast. It features the acting talents of B.D. Wong, Lucy Liu, and James Hong. He plays a character credited only as the hard-faced man, and I think he's supposed to be an evil surgeon? It's considered a problematic episode due to its portrayal of the Chinese American community, but I still like it. Okay, let me explain. I have an affection for it because my dad is Chinese, and it was very rare to see anyone who looked like us on The X-Files. The episode also takes place in San Francisco's Chinatown, where I spent a lot of my childhood. Yes, I know it was filmed in Vancouver, but the sights and sounds are all still familiar. It makes me happy to see shots of Chinatown, especially as I currently live in Baltimore, which doesn't really have a Chinatown anymore. Well, it sort of does, but it's basically just two Chinese restaurants next to each other, and one of them is a Panda Express. It's just so hard to find good dim sum around here. Anyway, I'm going to address these criticisms later on, but first let me get to the story. The episode starts with a guy named Johnny Lowe who goes to his apartment where he's confronted by a shadowy man and guys wearing masks telling him to pay the price before they attack him. Later, a security guard at a funeral home discovers the same masked guys. They sneak away and the security guard doesn't seem to react to them, and I don't know why. I mean, I don't care how big and tough you are, anyone who sees dudes in these masks in a dark room would absolutely freak out. He then sees Johnny burning alive in a crematory oven. The agents are brought in to look at the body, but they don't know what to make of it and consult a detective named Glenn Chow, played by B.D. Wong. They look inside the retort and find the Chinese character for ghosts. They also find some partially burned paper, which Chow explains is hell money, a type of joss paper that is burned as a symbolic offering for the deceased to use in the afterlife. Hell money is a bit of a misnomer since non-Christian Chinese don't believe in hell. The Chinese term for it really translates more to afterlife money, I think. I'm not sure since I don't speak any Chinese languages, so please correct me if I'm wrong. The uses of joss paper and the Chinese concept of the afterlife are complicated for me to explain since it's not something my family ever observed, but from what I've learned, the deceased will still need money and other everyday items to use in the afterlife, and burning the hell money sends it directly to them. I hope I got that right. If you have more knowledge on this, please share it in the comments. The episode doesn't really mention hell money again after this, and it really has nothing to do with the story, but I just thought I'd mention it. The agents and Chow go to Lowe's apartment and it looks completely normal. And by that I mean it looks completely suspicious. It has brand new carpet laid over a bloodstained floor. Cut to a man named Sin and his daughter Kim. Kim is ill with leukemia, but this is America and they have no insurance and are very poor. Sin has turned to an underground lottery to try to win money for her treatment. In the lottery, participants can win money, but if they lose, any number of organs is extracted from them. If you're lucky, they'll only take something you can live without, like one kidney or an eyeball. If you're very unlucky, they'll take something you can't live without. Seeing this man lose his life in this way is honestly the darkest moment in the whole episode. Later, he is found dumped in an open grave in a cemetery. Scully finds multiple organs missing, as well as healed sutures, and correctly suspects an organ harvesting operation.
Do you know how much the human body is worth, Mulder?
Chow finds out that Sin installed the carpet in Johnny Lowe's apartment. Sin claims total ignorance about Johnny Lowe and won't say what happened to his eye. Chow is later attacked by 3 guys in masks. Sin goes to the lottery gathering and again pulls a bad tile. Chow busts in and bravely tries to put a stop to the lottery. It is revealed that he has been working with the criminals the entire time.
係有危險性㗎，不過你都有份㗎喎。我哋俾咁多錢你，就係想你照住我哋，唔好俾老闆恰咋。
He knocks over the jade vases, revealing that the lottery was fixed. He busted on Sin just before his heart is taken, but is then arrested by the agents who figured out his involvement in the lottery through a bloodstain. It was him who threatened Johnny Lowe in the cold open. The hard-faced man is arrested, but arrogantly denies any wrongdoing. Mr. Sin survives, and Kim is placed on a bone marrow recipient list. Afterward, Chow disappears, but is shown in the final frame being burned alive. Discussion. I'll admit that my love for this episode is largely nostalgic, but my feelings for it are complicated. It definitely has its problems. Depending on who you ask, it uses racist stereotyping, or at the least, improperly represents Chinese culture. Others say it doesn't belong in the X-Files at all because it's not supernatural. Mulder is only interested because he thinks that ghosts are involved. But it's just a straightforward murder related to organized crime. I understand this last criticism, but I disagree and still think it deserves to be an episode because it's nice for once to see a supposed supernatural case have a realistic conclusion. I mean, it's the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not the Federal Bureau of Confirmation Bias. Bubcub. Negative portrayals of Chinese people in the media can increase xenophobia, which can result in actual crimes against Chinese Americans. And showing Chinese people engaged in illegal organ harvesting is definitely a negative portrayal. I would not want non-Chinese people to watch this and assume Chinese people are okay with gambling away their internal organs. However, here is why I think it is still a redeemable episode. Despite their involvement in organized crime, the Chinese people in the episode are otherwise sympathetically portrayed and written. The lottery shows the desperate lengths people will go to in order to help the ones they love. It is truly heartbreaking to see Sin's disappointment at losing the lottery night after night, and especially later when he begs to be released from his obligation to the hard-faced man. The episode also brings attention to the very real issue of how communities can be both supportive and harmful to the individuals who put their trust in them. I'm thinking specifically of the MLM Herbalife and its hold on many immigrant communities. Just as with all MLMs, there is no way to win in the organ lottery, and yet those in the community are eager to get others in on their chance to also not win. I'm not imagining this connection. The episode is based on an idea put forth from the series creator Chris Carter. He imagined an episode about a pyramid scheme for body parts. Writer Jeff Fleming combined this with the idea of a small-town lottery and a corporate entity controlling poor people in Chinatown. If you don't know what I mean by the Herbalife connection, watch Betting on Zero on Netflix, or read anything about Herbalife's shady business practices. There are also many channels and videos dedicated to exploring the corrosive effect of multi-level marketing on families, communities in small towns, neighborhoods, and US military bases. Final thoughts. I believe if this were written today, it would never make it to the screen without some major rewrites. I think B.D. Wong's character should have been a double agent, attempting to undermine and destroy the lottery from within, not protect them. Lucy Liu's character is a little too sweet and innocent, plus we don't really see what happens to her in the end. Making her chronically ill results in her not really getting to do much. I know that this was the motivating factor for her father, but instead of her being ill, why not have her recently accepted to an expensive university? Her dad would still need the money, but it would give her a chance to jump into the action. I think she and BD should have teamed up to take down the gambling ring together somehow, maybe get her dad involved and have some cool action sequences. Like maybe a gunfight where she pulls out 2 pistols and points them at the hard-faced man and says, "Surprise, mofos, you lose this lottery," or "Gamble on this." You know, just something so she doesn't seem so helpless. What do you think about this episode? Was it an inappropriate topic for the show? Let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe.